So,
Okay.
first of all, how are you?
I am alive.
Okay, that's
I
good.
am okay.
Okay.
I'm lying. I'm not okay. I've been trying to get in the habit of not saying because I'm a human service major, and so like my teacher's always saying, people need to learn to just that it's okay to not be okay. And she's like, when people ask you how are you or if you're okay, like you don't always have to lie and say it. You don't have to share, but like I've been trying to get in the habit of just being comfortable, openly saying no, I'm not okay, but I'm trying to be okay. So yeah.
Well, I'm happy you're alive and that you are managing. Well,
Yes, that's a
I
good
know
word.
you've been going through things, and it's very difficult, especially with loss of family member and Corona and just everything else. How how have you been dealing with Corona?
I have been dealing with it the best that I can. Like the timing that it came was like really bad. So like literally, so my mom passed away in January, and then like I moved down to Charlotte the day after her funeral, and then I was doing good. Like I literally had like 15 job interviews in 1 week, and then all these offers, and then boom, Corona. We can't let anybody new in the building. So it's like a new state, no money, no job, kind of rough.
What what helped you push through?
Um, I would say probably my church family.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were supportive with the phone calls, FaceTimes.
Yeah. Yeah, just having someone to like talk to constantly and like constantly be reminded that it's okay to not have everything figured out and like that I'm not alone because a lot of people are not working and I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of people are not working, but like it's not you're not really thinking about everybody else when it's you. I'm like, yeah, well, I need to be working this and that, blah blah. So it's like a little reassuring knowing that like other people who are like used to working full time are not working and like they're kind of struggling too. Not that it's okay, but like makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not alone. So that kind of
Yeah,
helps.
yeah, I definitely can agree with that. That's pretty much what this podcast is. Brief break. I just want to say what up to everybody watching. Welcome back to another episode of JCIRL, Connecticut's #1 transformation podcast, where we put faith to action and share testimony of transformation with you. I'm your host, Q Amir, and you are my lovely guest, Crystal. Wave to the watchers.
Oh,
Okay, I do the little spiel. So during this time, I guess since January and moving on to now, what has God been to you as far as like your relationship? How do you view him?
I feel like we're kind of rocky back and forth. So before my mom passed, like, and she was getting sicker, I was kind of struggling with my faith. Well, kind of like last year. She's always in and out of the hospital, but at one point she was doing really good. Like she was getting really strong, being able to do so much by herself. And then even in December, like for her to have passed away in January, like the beginning of December, she was doing pretty good. So, and my mom prayed a lot, like every single day she'd pray, like she'd get up reading her scriptures every single day. Like you could say the simplest thing and she had some type of reference about how God made it happen and stuff like that and how she just prays for this and that. And like me, I'm really big on like questioning things, and my biggest question is always, if God is so great, why do bad things still happen? And like I just need God to heal my mom. And she was getting better, so I'm like, okay, great, God, this is looking good. Like we're taking care of my mom, like I got a new job, this and that. And then you take her in January, like right after she was doing pretty good. So that's been kind of rough. And then a lot of people don't know it, but I have really bad anxiety, like panic attacks every week, like hyperventilating, blacking out, all that. Um, I have really bad depression. I've had that for a while, and suicidal ideation. And I've been trying to like find like something to cope with all that. And minister, well, not minister, he's a pastor now, but Pastor Huff, every time I think about like what I'm going through and I'm struggling, and people are like, oh, just pray, think about God, this and that. And I'm like, that's not really going to help. At the same time, like he always said, like, you don't have nothing to lose. So if you're going to believe in something, like, why not believe in God? Because you really don't have anything to lose. So recently I've been kind of like trying to just focus on God and pray on that. And I don't know, I feel like little by little, he's kind of like showing up. Like, me and my dad don't have the greatest relationship. And every time I go to talk to him, I'm like on eggshells. And so recently I've been kind of like, before I go to talk to him, like, Lord, just give me patience, give him patience, let him understand what I'm saying, let us not get into it. And I don't know, like, I feel like that kind of helped. Versus before, I would just go into something like with my mind all over the place. I feel like that's been kind of helping. So God's been like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the word. He's been like helping me to see things clearer, to be slow, to not get so offensive and stuff like that. I feel like he's been keeping me patient.
Okay, that's cool. I'm glad he's giving that to you. From what you were saying, like what you just said, it seems like you are using God. You're bringing Him more into the situation. Like when you're engaging with your Father, you were saying, you want to pray first. You want to make sure God is with you because you don't want anything bad to happen. You don't want to get into an argument. And to me, I feel like God is that rock that we can always rely on. At least He'll bring us back to a mindset where we're balanced, and we can see a little more clearly. Maybe we can listen a little more intently. But that's great. I think that's a great tool to use. Definitely speaking with God before we do anything, because the text says we should seek Him with our with our mind, body, and strength, and in all things. And I think that's a perfect illustration of that. So you said, how have you seen God working in your life, being that you lost your mom and going through the depression. Even still, do you see Him working, and if so, how?
I can't say that I necessarily see Him working right now, but just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's there. Like the simple fact, like little things, like I could have gotten into a car accident and I didn't. Like even today I was driving and someone just literally cut me off out of nowhere. And it's like something as little as that. Like I think, okay, I don't really see what God's doing, blah, blah. But something as small as that, like that, pretty sure that was God. I definitely feel like I saw Him working a lot last year. Some people know, some people don't, but last year between January and like May, June-ish, I had 4, 5 deaths in my family. People were just like dying back to back to back to back. And then one of them was a suicide. And then my dad was like really going through it. And then at the time, my mom like hadn't been doing so good. And like she just kept telling me like, you gotta be strong and this and that, help take care of this and that. And I just kind of felt like at the time she wasn't doing so well, and out of nowhere she just randomly got better, like a whole lot better. And I was like thinking like, I don't know, like maybe this is God trying to like show me a little bit of a bright side, like because all these things are just going bad. And then another thing, I'm like, of course people are dying, so I'm like, oh crap, like I hope my mom is not next. And then for her to just miraculously get better, like super strong and all that. So I feel like that is how like I can really say that I've seen Him working.
Okay, I guess that brings me to my next question. Like how do you keep your faith strong when you go through these tough situations, when like people are dying that's close to you, you can't get work, it's just tough out here. Like how would you recommend somebody like relying on God, or how have you relied on God during those times?
Reach out to someone who knows God and like believes in Him like fully. Like I have Minister Matthews, and then this wonderful woman that I met at Mount Airy, her name is Miss Pia. Just really people that are like really strong in their faith. And it's like I'm kind of questioning, so I'm not like completely against God or don't believe in it, and I just don't feel like I'm strong enough to like be there on my own. So in those times where I'm like really struggling, I'm like, okay, let me just reach out to them and just have a conversation, and then just let them know like how I'm feeling and this and that, and then they'll kind of bring God into it slowly without just throwing it all in my face. And then they'll pray for me and this and that. I would just say like, even if you have one good person who really relies on God, and like find someone older than you. Because for me, like people my age are great, but it's a little bit better when I can hear of someone older who's been through it, who's maybe been through worse than I have. So like to hear stuff from someone who's gone through the worst of the worst and still has like faith like in God, I find that very helpful.
Yeah, so it's like, like, what does that do for you? Like when you see somebody going through stuff, when your mom's sick and she's still praying, and does that strengthen your faith in God? Like if my mom loved God even when she's sick, does that make me want to, rely on God with that same energy? Or were you just watching? Like if God, if you were you in a state of questioning God, like if God, if you love us so much, why? I feel like I ask why a lot in my life. Like, why does this happen? Why does that happen? And I don't know. I came to a conclusion that bad stuff is gonna happen, but that shouldn't shake my faith, because not every day is gonna be rainbows. Unfortunately, what I read in the text, it's a lot of stuff going on, famine, a lot of people cheating. The rich people cheating the poor, and God was there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why? I ask why a lot. Are you still in the state of why, or have you like moved on to a different level of faith?
I feel like I'm still in between, like watching my mom like still pray and read scriptures and this and that. Like I would always I never said it to her because I wouldn't want her to feel bad, but I would just be thinking like, God, like my mom does everything for everybody. Like she prays to you every day. Like my mom will pray before she drank a cup of juice. Like she was that person. And it's just like, how could someone be so faithful to you and believe in you so much and you couldn't even like fix them? And then my mom would say, because she had like breathing problems and like problems with her eyes and this and that, she would say, well, at least I can still talk, at least I can still feed myself. And then it's like, then I think about other people who, and though she'll also say like, well, at least I'm still here. So then like it kind of makes me think, okay, like I'd rather have my mom here and not breathing 100% well, but can still like function and be comfortable and this and that, than for her to not be here at all. So I'm kind of like in between. Like sometimes it makes me like think, okay, I could be grateful and this and that. Maybe things will get better. But then other times I'm like, Lord, like I've heard about you like letting blind people see and all this other stuff, and what's going on?
Why can't I get some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And for me, it's been like a recluse almost. It's like I just like, you know what, God got a plan. I kind of have to throw it up that way because like in a sense we're powerless. I mean, I feel like that it boils down to that. It's like you feel helpless. And then what bothered me in my faith, if I could just give you some background, it's like when people say, oh, pray about it, or when people just say talk to God about it. And there was a time in my life where that wasn't enough. I'm just like, listen, I didn't believe that strong. I didn't believe in the power of prayer. I'll just say that, and I guess now it's to a point where I'm more content. Like it will be, whatever is meant to be will be. Like if I'm hurt this day, I'm hurt. I'll look forward to feeling better another day. And I want to commend your mom, just for being a woman of faith that she was, and even still praying in the sight of, dark times or sickness. She was still keeping her faith strong and being that example for you. And you adopted, you say she liked to help everybody. I see you like to help a lot of people too. You're doing the homeless shelters, watching people's kids, and you got a lot of love in you. And I'm like, that got to come from your mom. And I feel like God gave that to your mom and she gave it to you, and your mom lives on within you. I feel like, your mom did a great job when she raised you, and
thank you.
You should, I would like to see, I would say, I'm not going to tell you what you should do, but I would like to see you just continuing on being radiant and showing the love that was shown to you. And I wish I had the right scripture to pull up about keeping your faith strong in the midst of the storm. But I feel like that's more or less conditioning, like trouble doesn't last always. Like they say, in the morning, joy comes in the morning. So it's like when we going through these trials, I call it trials and tribulations, it's really strengthening us for someone else, essentially. Maybe you couldn't get the miracle, but you can be a miracle to someone else. And that's something that keeps me charged up, because obviously I'm human, my life isn't perfect. Like I don't believe anybody's is, but as a person of faith, how do you wear your armor every day. Like last week, I did a lesson on the armor of the Lord. It's like the belt of truth, the chest plate of righteousness, and the helmet of salvation. How do you wear the armor of the Lord when everything's getting thrown at you? Like soon as you wake up, you getting a text and somebody died, or you lost your job, or somebody's in the hospital. How do you keep your peace in the midst of this? Or do you keep your peace? Or do you let it, you
Honestly,
peace and be out there?
I'm trying to keep my peace. Um, I'm a very open person. Like I'll tell anybody anything because I feel like me sharing my story or sharing anything helps someone else. But recently, I have been struggling, like struggling to the point where I don't sleep. Up until maybe this current week. No, honestly, no. I've been having panic attacks like every week. A little less, I think a little bit less than a month ago, I attempted suicide. Like I was just literally at that point where I was like, yo, I can't do this. Like I literally just swallowed a bunch of pills and I was ready to slit my wrist. But honestly, I was so like weak and out of it, I didn't even have the strength to do it. And then even that, I felt like that was partially God too, because like I felt like it was weird because like I felt too weak to actually slit my wrist, but yet I was okay enough to get myself up and throw up. I was like, my vision was blurry, this and that, but yeah, I was able to still like text my sister, and I reached out to Minister Matthews, and it was just like I felt like I was completely out of it and could do anything. But yet, once again, I just feel like God was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that, but I'm gonna give you the strength to do this. Like, reach out to your people, your church people, talk to them. Like, but we're not doing that. So like recently, I've been like really struggling. I want to say since my mom passed, I've attempted suicide 3 times. It's gotten to the point where I don't sleep. Like I'm taking like melatonin, Unisom, ZQL, everything under the sun I can think of to help me sleep. And it's just been like, it's been really rough. So as far as keeping my peace, it hasn't been so great. But then I also like sometimes I'll talk to like Minister Matthews or my church moms or my sisters, and I'll feel a little bit better. And then sometimes like a change of scenery. Like the week my mom passed, I had gotten no sleep at all. But then I stayed with my sister Isis in New Haven in her prayer room. And like I literally got the best sleep of my entire life. I remember just every night like laying in her room, just reading the little quotes and the scriptures on her wall and this and that. I slept like a baby. And then like recently I've been struggling. I stayed in my mom's house this past Saturday, Sunday, no sleep. Literally almost 3 days up until I got here, just anxious of like the thought of coming back here. Cause like I come back here and it's reality that my mom is not here. So I literally watched the sun come up for 3 days straight. And then I got to my sister Brittany's house. I've been sleeping like a baby all these days this week. So I think also like change of scenery and like having inspiring people, and then like knowing that it's okay to reach out. Like me, I was like the strong one, like in my entire family, even my mom, like my dad, there was so much my dad didn't even know about my mom's sickness and stuff because I was the one like, you have to be strong. Like I don't really show weakness, tears, any of that. But like learning that it's okay to reach out, and then having my sisters like remind me like, yo, if you need something, just like reach out, like it's okay. And then I also thought like, yo, I'm here for everybody else. Like I should be able to talk to other people too, if everyone else should do it. So that's kind of been helping me keep the peace recently, this past week, couple days.
Okay, so community is key.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when you're feeling weak, it's good to have some people around you that are filled with Christ and that love you. I feel like that's been key. Just in general, that's why we go to church, so we can commune with other church people amongst the other nuances that go on. You worry about Sister Jackson hat, but yeah, that's powerful right there. I'm glad you are, you have these people in your life that are keeping you here and allowing you to sleep in their prayer rooms.
Yeah.
What I want to do is, if you give me if you'd oblige me, just a quick prayer, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling moved to prayer. Sister Christine Holland, she definitely inspires me to pray more, and I love what she's doing out there. Anyone on Facebook, look up Christina Holland. She's doing prayer twice a day. Just check her out. And it's much prayer is much power. That's what Pastor Logan says. And I believe when I listen to her pray, she prays with the holy fire. And
Mm-hmm.
it definitely does something to my spirit, and it kind of charges me up for my day. But I just wanted to do a quick prayer. Dear God, I pray that you are with us, that you give us comforting peace, and that even though we're in the storm, even though we're in Corona, in the pandemic, that you give us some shade, you give us some protection, you keep your protective hedge around us, your children, and may we seek you diligently always, and know that you are love, you are peace, you are there, and we are well, regardless of our situations and locations, that you are there, you are watching us, and you are with us. In your precious son Jesus' name I pray, amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
So yeah, trying to get my prayer game up, you know what I mean? I gotta get that power, and yeah, get that manifestation. So I guess in a closing remark, if there was someone else going through the situations that you're going through, what would be a word of encouragement you would say to them?
I would say that you're not alone. Like, no matter what you're going through, like, you may think you're alone, but I guarantee there's somebody else who's either going through what you're going through, or has been, or has gone what you've gone through. So don't feel like you're alone. And if you feel like you need someone to talk to, then reach out, even if it's to like a close friend, because you never know. Just because like your friend or your mom or your sister, whoever so and so, can't relate or can't actually help you, they might know someone who can. So I would just leave with that, like, just talk to someone.
Okay, all right, that's a good note right there. And on that note, we will peace out. Thank you everybody for watching. God bless you, Crystal, and I hope you have a blessed day and you get some sleep tonight. I'm gonna pray you get some sleep. All right.
Oh yeah. All
But
right.
thanks for interviewing with me, and see you later.
All right, later.